Sit. Sit. This is Ray. This is Ray's roadmap to success. Remember, whenever you're giving a treat, the treat should go in the mouth first and then say the command word after. And when I give my dog a command, I give it to him twice. So I'll have her get up, so I'll show you. Ray, sit, sit. Once during what I call the command stage, once during the reward stage. Saying it, what the dog did when you pet them or give them a treat is the most important time to hear it. So if they don't hear that, then you say good dog or good girl or whatever it is. Good girl, when I come, sleep, poop, eat, it means everything. It doesn't mean one specific thing. But sit, I only hear when I'm sitting. Crash, I only hear when I'm laying down. Chill, I only hear when I'm completely relaxed and settling. So your dog can learn up to 82% faster if you say just the command word when they do the right thing. Okay, so she is a higher energy dog. Upping her exercise will help, but also making sure she gets in quality sleep will also be equally important. It's a very active lifestyle. There's a young child in the house who is just a little tornado. He's a great little guy, but he is on her constantly. Now, a couple rules. When you have kids, I always say that when they're in the dog on the dog bed or in the kennel, no kids should be allowed. If she has a toy, she has to go get mommy. Mommy comes and tells and takes the toy away from the dog. That way, dogs have a fight or flight response. This way, the dog can move itself away, as opposed to think I'm gonna move over here. I realize I'm probably backlit. Follow me with the camera if you could. And so, if the dog has a safe place it can go, instead of having to nip the child, I just go to my safe place. Now it's easier said than done when you have a young one, but so I would recommend that you guys a couple of times, maybe once or twice a day, give her time where you can go in the bedroom, I know, or somewhere where she can go by herself. Maybe go to the green spot, get a bunch of bully sticks, and then she gets to go in the bully stick and enjoy her bully stick for a half an hour with no kids, and I can enjoy it, and then maybe she takes a little bit of a nap. But remember, dogs sleep 60 and 17 hours a day, a dog her size. And if you don't get her enough exercise, that's when mistakes happen. They get overly cranky. So, okay, so the video above goes over how to let the dog out of the kennel, and I want you to think of that, the way I talked about that, for a whole lot of things. So if the dog gets excited for some activity, think of yourself, how can I recreate that activity, break it down to small individual steps, and help the dog practice step one over and over until there's no excitement, the dog is relaxed and behaving the way I want. Only then do I go to step two, and I repeat the process for step two, and then 3, 4, and then eventually when I've done all the individual steps, then I bring all the steps together in the easiest version possible. So if it's something difficult and the kids are screaming around, that is not the easiest position possible. Wait for the kids to be asleep or at school and then practice that. Pick your spots. A lot of people try to train their dogs in the moment, which is the worst time to do that because you're gonna be all over the place and you're distracted. If the kids and everybody are asleep, you can give the dog your 100% focus, they'll learn much faster, you'll feel better and you'll get a better result, and that will accelerate your process. Okay, so exercising her, remember you can throw those treats up and down the stairs. You can use the laser, but for her, she's like on the edge of whether or not I would think the laser's okay. So if she starts whimpering or crying or getting manic, stop the laser. We want it to be helpful, not hurtful. Throwing those treats up and down the stairs, come up with a fun word, go to the bottom of the stairs, fun word at the top of the stairs, and do it the first time with an empty stomach until she's like, you're crazy, I've been down there 78 times, I'm not going down anymore. We need to know what our maximum number is. Okay. Let me see. You can also fetch the machine that I have is called a Go Dog Go, and the website I believe it's go-dog-go-something. So just go Dog Go fetch machine, and if you can't find it, message me. I'll send you the link. But I think that will really help. Also, I think Dad's going to come with Dad's a friend of mine, so I think Dad's going to come home and going to be able to do the fencing that I do. That'll steep because right now she jumps the fence, and that's a self-rewarding behavior. So you got to stop that as soon as possible. Okay, we also talked about a number of rules. If a dog, she really doesn't have any rules, and that causes dogs to think that we're peers, and if they think that we're peers, then listening to us is optional. So we need the dog to see us acting like leaders by enforcing rules. And remember, rewarding a dog by breaking the rule is a horrible way to do that. That's passive training, we're talking about that in a sec. It's very confusing for them. Confusion leads to a lot of dog behavior problems. Sit. So I say it once, she has 3 seconds to apply. If she doesn't, then I'm not petting her. I'm not engaging with her. And I'm just gonna cross my arms and stand up if I need to get her. We're not done, we're not ready for that. We're gonna talk about that in a sec. But if you keep on engaging with her when she's doing things you don't want, she's gonna continue to do that. So, all right, sit, sit. Remember, try to pet under the chin whenever possible. Okay, so some of the rules that we talked about, having to sit calmly and quietly before we let you out of the kennel, and that's in the video above this one. Other things, you're not allowed to be on the furniture, which she just jumped up, and that's okay for now. That's okay for now. But get those X mats and put those X mats there, and every time she gets up there, immediately throw a treat onto the dog bed. Or order the dog bed on Groupon, get a Sealy Posturepedic or memory foam. Make sure it's white, light cream, or light gray, and no pattern, and no little creases. Make sure it's like a stout cushion, so when the treat's there, she can see it very easily. All right, should not, the guardians need to eat before they feed her. Right now the guardians are leaving food in her kennel, which takes away a really important way for a dog to see you. Eating is the most important activity for dogs. So what I would do is just basically put the food down in the kitchen, wherever you want it, and next to the water bowl, sit, and then you eat something first in 5 or more bites. Piece of chip, cracker, celery, whatever. Then go over and tap the bowl, and that's her permission to come and eat. And if she doesn't come within a minute, pick up the bowl and dump it empty. If she goes and sniffs it, as soon as she takes more than 7 paces away, well, depending on the size of the kitchen, maybe 5 to 7 paces, pick it up, dump it empty, and put the bowl back down. Don't ask her to eat. She needs to eat. She probably will go a day or 2 without eating. So what you're saying is you eat when I give you permission to eat. If you don't eat, that's fine, no punishment, but the food goes away. And you don't eat again to get an opportunity to eat until the next meal. If she goes longer than 3 days, let me know.
Okay.
All right, so other rules, she should not be allowed in the kitchen when we're preparing food. We had a lot going on, so I didn't get a chance to get through how to establish invisible boundaries. If you go to doggoneproblems.com, about 2 or 3 posts below this one on my website, is going to be one, and you can just search for invisible boundaries, and I have a video that explains how to do it using these escalating consequences I went over. The hiss, the stand, the march.
Okay, doggoneproblems.com,
and click on where it says dog training tips, and then on the right side of the page is a search box. Just type in invisible line.
Okay.
And I have a bunch of videos where I've shown people how to teach a dog to respect an invisible line. Okay, let me see. We also talked about petting with a purpose of passive training. Petting with a purpose is sit. Well, if she doesn't, then I don't pet her. But let's say she does sit.
And
Sit.
if she does sit, you pet her.
Sit, and then I'm going to pet her. But if she reaches her arm, I immediately pull back as soon as she reaches her arm up, because that's a domination move. Don't let her hand paw be up here. And so that stops me from petting you. So for petting with a purpose, what we're saying is if you want my attention, instead of her nudging you or just pawing at you to get attention, she's going to have to do something to earn that affection. And so we're going to ask her to sit or to lie down. She's already sitting here, ask her to sit here or ask her to lie down. As soon as she does, pet her under her chin. And you can pet her anywhere you want. Just don't reach over her head. And also, you gotta make sure that little man is not putting his hand in her mouth, because it's just practicing, and I guarantee you that's gonna backfire someday in a really, really bad way. All right, so for petting with a purpose, what we're saying is if you tell the humans what to do, nothing happens. But if the human tells you what to do and you do it, you get rewarded. And if you don't do it, you don't get the reward. After a while, the dog now has motivation to want to listen to you. After a while, the dog will come start sitting in front of you to prepay for the attention. When she does that, make sure you pet her at least once and say the word sit, and only the word sit. Not good sit, not good girl, good dog, just sit. And then pet her as much as little as you want, at least one pet. And then after a while, she'll start coming and sitting in front of you to prepay for the attention. Also, taking away the furniture makes that a little bit easier as well. Passive training is just waiting for the dog to organically offer you the behavior that you want. So every time that Ray comes to me, I'm going to pet her and say come. Every time she lays down, pet her and say crash. Every time she sits, pet her and say sit. Every time she brings you a toy that's her toy, name all the individual toys. So every time she brings you Boba Fett, it's a crazy house. That's all right. This is the life we live. And so I need to be able to see that and really come up with the best solution for her. So basically, if we name all of her individual toys, then we can say, go get me Boba Fett. And then basically she'll go and grab Boba Fett instead of going and grab, and you can have a richer. And what I'd also like you to do is, thank you, buddy, is come up with some funny words for other things. Like if I feed my dog, when it takes its first bite of food for 3 months, I say a command word. I say grub, chow, feast, and lasagna. So when the dog's word is lasagna, when he takes his first bite of food, here's the word lasagna. And let's go ahead. Let's go out and we'll walk in the other room. So keep it rolling. But otherwise, we probably might not hear anything. All right. So come over here and just stand right there if you could.
Go where?
No, just keep it facing me. Just stand right there. It's just going to be a lot loud. I want you to be able to watch it later on. You guys will be watching this later going, man, he's loud. That's okay. So passive training is just waiting for the dog to organically do the things that you want. So I would, again, every time your dog takes a bite of food, say lasagna or pasta or taco or whatever the word is. Every time she drinks water, say agua. Or water or cocktails or whatever you want to say. That's Spanish for water.
Yeah.
And so now you can tell her to drink. Now, does she know how to drink? No, but it's having a better, richer vocabulary. That's why we name all the individual toys. Let me see. When she comes in the house, say casa or house. Moving into this room was not strategic. So the idea is when she comes in the house, she always hears the word casa or house or palace. So she's out in the backyard, you say palace, and she goes, oh, palace means I run in the house and I get a treat. So she's inclined to want to do those
Or
things.
you could say pineapple.
You can say pineapple, but I would recommend you use a word that more of a destination. If you tell me, I'm going to ask you, you and I talk about this when we get done with the video. How about that? So the idea is we want to come up with like a destination for a destination word. So Fiji means to go inside, as opposed to say pineapple. Most it's not as intuitive. Okay, so let me think. What else? I went over the leave it exercise. If I don't have the leave it exercise posted on linked in the write-up, message me and I'll add it in there. I want you guys to practice that. Everybody should practice. Well, not him, but everybody else should practice with about 5 to 7 treats. You and Ben first, until she's pretty much disengaging. Then you can have the other ones. Start with the older kids and work your way down. But it's important for her to be able, or anybody to be able to say, leave it, and raise like, oh, if I back away from it, I get something better. So that will help with your poopy diapers. Now, if you just hide the poopy diapers, put them in the trash can, she's going to wait for you not to pay attention. Mm-hmm. So when you're watching TV, I know it's not the best smell, but bring the trash can out, put a poopy diaper, and put it in the middle in between you and watching the TV. Mm-hmm. Every time she comes towards you, you say leave it, or you can make the hissing sound. Mm-hmm. And so if she turns and walks away, then you give her a treat and say leave it. Mm-hmm. So you could combine that. So let's say this is the trash can. She comes in, you hiss, and she turns and walks away. Then you get up and give her a treat and say leave it. So you're saying hiss, no, I don't like you to do that. But when you do what I want, you get a reward. I think that setting up, remember, pick your battles. Yeah. Set up a time where you can practice whatever the exercise is when you don't have all the craziness comes up from being in a family. And after a while, then the dog is on its kind of automatic mode of whatever it's doing. And then now it's easier. You can do it while you have little man go crazy. Say leave it, and dog's like, oh, that means to leave it alone and get something else. She also likes to steal a lot of things. Hey.
She did.
She did get into the
Yeah.
diapers. Sorry.
That's okay.
So when you're doing something like that, leave it exercise or the trash can is great.
Well, she usually.
Well, I'm going to ask you to hold on a sec. But when you get done, make sure you pick them up. We didn't do that when we left, and she went and took advantage, and that's practicing that behavior as well. Yeah, you should sneeze. You got poop in your mouth.
Oh,
okay.
She loves it. I don't know why.
Well, because they eat scat. It's very normal for dogs.
Dude, that's so weird.
They're scavengers. Sometimes they'll eat scat from other animals. So pick and choose your battles.
Okay.
And proper practice whatever these things are. So eventually you can say, leave it, or bring the trash can and put the trash can in the middle of the room, and she just knows leaving that is rewardable. Also, since she steals a lot of things, make sure you use a drop command. So when she has a toy in her mouth that she's allowed to have, go over, touch her mouth, and she'll have the object in her mouth. Don't say drop, just wait. And as soon as she drops it, pop the treat in her mouth. I know it does stink, doesn't it? And then say the word drop. So now you create a command word so dropping means if you drop what you got, I'll give you something better than what you have. Okay. And if you do have to take it away, then you need to trade and give her something else after. Give her a bully stick or something along those lines. Otherwise, she's like, well, you're stealing from me. Ray, come here. Sit. Let's see if everybody see what a good looking dog you are. Sit. Well, this is Ray with the poopy mouth, and this is her roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you mean it.